Welcome back everyone to another race commentary video with me, Arlen, at the Portland International Raceway for another weekend circuit race. This race happens weekly on Monday nights in North Portland, and it's on a car racetrack, which means that none of the corners are particularly tight and you can go pretty fast the entire way around. The course is marked out in the bottom right hand corner with the finish line partway down the really long straight. It's pretty important to know the wind direction is a cross headwind on the whole start finish straight, which means that you'll see in the video we'll be pulling off to the left for a lot of that time to try and put other people in the gutter and just keep things stringed out. On this downwind section, which we're on at the moment, everyone is staying on the right side because the wind is coming from the left and behind, which gives people behind you less of a draft and ensures that the race is pretty hard for everyone. So we just came in on the last half a lap, and here we are with Tyler in front of me, and I'm in second wheel, and we're leading out our sprinter Kevin. He's the best sprinter on Team O, and we're trying to get him the win at this circuit race. To win at this circuit race, you've got to accumulate the most points, which are through these hot laps, which are like preems, with 6, 4, and 2 points on offer, and then the final, which has about 15 points on offer, and it goes down depending on how well you place. So our job at the moment is to keep things fast up into this headwind straight, drop him off a little bit after this bridge at a fast speed, and then he'll finish off the sprint. We execute this pretty well. As you can see, it's a pretty hard effort keeping it fast up into this headwind, and at perfect timing, he goes on the right-hand side and secures the first win, or secures the first hot lap, the preem, with 6 points. So it's a great start off to the race. I hop back in the peloton, sit in, save a little energy, make my way back up to the front because I know that in a few more laps, another preem is coming and I'm going to have to help lead him out once again. So later in this lap, I've moved up a little bit, but I'm still looking to make my way closer to the front. And on the right-hand side, I see this guy fly by with a lot more speed, so I hop on his wheel because I can tell he's going to pull me straight to the front. Although I put in a bit of power, I didn't really use it unnecessarily because in his draft, he was doing a lot more power than me, and he brought me from maybe 30, 40th wheel all the way into the top 10, 20. So this was a pretty good move, making my way up to the front of the peloton so that I can take better lines through these corners, and in general, just stay near the front in case there's attacks that need to be marked, and it'll make it easier later when I need to lead out Kevin for the next hot lap sprint. Here's another pretty good example of me moving up through the peloton, trying to use less energy than other people who are just moving up in the wind. So right now I'm on the sheltered side of the road. The wind is coming from our right, and I hop in behind Kevin, and we're both sheltered on the left side of the road. Even though we're sort of out in the wind, we do get a lot more of a draft than the people on the right side. So this saves us a lot of power. So right here, I use a little lull in the speed to make my way up through the middle of the peloton, keep pedaling at a pretty low 200, 300 watts, and make my way up to the front without having to make a huge acceleration. Then when everyone else speeds up again, I speed up with them, and I'm now closer to the front without having to pedal extremely hard through the wind to make my way up there. It's now half a lap to go before the second preem, and I'm coming around the right-hand side of my sprinter Kevin. He's right there to the left, and making my way to the front to help out Tyler, keeping it fast for this last half lap. We want to make sure it's going fast because if it slows down with the 40 or 50 rider field, people are going to come by and you can really easily get boxed in. I should have probably been in a little bit better position instead of having to do all this power just to get up to the front. You can see my heart rate's pretty high. I'm still feeling pretty decent, but I've got a little bit of fatigue in the legs from the last lead out, but it's only about 40 minutes into the race, so I'm still doing pretty well, but having to do a lot of power in the front just to keep things fast. I just upgraded from 4.5 to Cat 3 on the road, so this is my first Cat 1-2-3 race. This race only has two fields, the 1-2-3 and the 4.5. So previously I was racing in the 4.5. This is now the 1-2-3. So although I'm a Cat 3, I'm also racing and helping out with my teammates who are Cat 1 and Cat 2. This makes it pretty exciting for me because although I probably have a pretty small chance of winning, I can put in a meaningful effort and help out my teammates so that they can win. But at the moment, we're coming in to the last corner before the second preem. We're looking to get Kevin into this one and also get him the win or get him the full 6 points, which would bring him up to 12 points, which is almost as much as you get just by winning the final sprint. Unfortunately, I couldn't quite hold into Tyler's wheel here, but luckily Kevin yells at me to move to the right, and he closes the gap down and is coming through with a lot of speed. And because of that, you can see he's already ahead of all the other riders sprinting. He comes in and gets another 6 points to add to his total, which is now 12. So this is pretty perfect. It means less pressure on him for the final sprint to get first, because he knows that if he gets second or third, he'll still get a pretty decent amount of points to add to his 12 points he's already accumulated. But we're still going to try to lead him out in the final sprint and see if he can take the win. And we've got Stefan in front of me, he's a pretty experienced racer. And in front of him, we got Eric, who's also raced Cat 3 for a while, and Tyler. So they're all really strong. And then it's me behind them, also trying to keep things fast. You can see this is 2 laps to go, or 1.5 laps to go. And we're going really fast down the straight. 35 miles an hour into it is a tailwind, but it's still being kept extremely fast. Not much happens from here until the last half a lap, so I'll just speed it up and you'll see what happens. We zoom around these corners, pass by some people from the other field. Now we're into the headwind. Unfortunately, it slows down a little bit. I don't remember who exactly was on the front, but they peel off. We get swarmed slightly, which was unfortunate. People come up on the right with a little more speed, but we don't lose too many positions. Stefan pulls me up on the sheltered side, which is good. We're still doing power, but at least we've got a little bit of shelter from the cross headwind. And right there to the right, we just saw our sprinter Kevin, so we know he's in good position, about 10th wheel, sort of near the front, but not too close. So I hop back in, and now we start the final lead-out train. To our right is the Expeditors cycling team. They're super strong. We don't want to let them into our lead-out train, so we sort of keep them to the right. But it's impressive. The Expediter cyclist on the front there, he's on the front for like the whole lap, going just as fast and doesn't pull off for a while. Now we're into the last turn before the final sprint. This is where things don't go quite as planned. We wanted to come in to this final turn first and come out of it first so that we could drop Kevin off a little bit after the bridge. Unfortunately, we didn't come in with quite enough speed to the turn, and the people behind us came in with a lot more speed and rushed by us. But luckily, Kevin, you can see on the right there, jumped on the right wheel instead of following mine or Eric's wheel, and he did a great sprint and got third, which meant that with his 12 points from the 2 hot laps, he actually went into first place and won the race. So that was super fun. I hope you enjoyed my race commentary and see what it looks like to be a helping teammate with Team Oregon. We're still working everything out with the whole lead out thing, but we'll be back at the next race, hopefully stronger than ever, and I hope we'll see you there.